another exciting excerpt of the Scouser and the Scot.
Today we have got something special for you guys. Today we have got truck driver Shawn. Shawn, how you doing? How are you keeping, buddy?
Doing really well. Everything's going fantastic. Couldn't ask you having a better day.
That's what I like to hear.
We'll soon spoil that, Ian.
Yeah, there'll be no worries about that one. We'll ask him all the questions. We'll get all the dirt on him, John. It's fine, mate.
Yeah. No, what we'll do is we'll go on his YouTube channel and then just put shit comments down underneath it.
That's all right. I got plenty of toilet paper. Leave the shit. We'll be all right.
See, the thing is, I've been following you for fucking ages now. Like, Shawn, this is it's quality. This is like, you know, someone who like I've been following for quite a while. So let's get down to the top 10 questions for you then, Shawn. Can you give us a bit of background history on yourself? What was your first introduction to music and what piqued your interest in music?
Oh, that's actually a pretty funny story. See, I grew up in a really Christian home. My mom listened to Southern gospel. It's all we ever played in the house. So I didn't like music because the music just didn't appeal to me. And I went to my buddy's house and I was 12 years old. His name's Philip Chick. I'll never forget that night as long as I'm alive. They watched something called Headbangers Ball as a family. So I got to see Metallica, like on the TV. And I'm like, whoa, what's this crazy music you're listening to? This thing is badass. So from then on, it was just, I've been listening to metal or hard rock my whole entire teenage years through today. You know, I listen to a little bit of pop and stuff here and there, but really that's the nucleus of it. Just hearing Southern gospel my whole life. Then you hear the song One at literally 11 o'clock at night on MTV. They're all sitting there with their popcorn and stuff like they're getting ready to watch this big event. And I never watched it. So I'm just like, why are you guys staying up so late? Like, it's past bedtime. Like, we're going to go to bed at some point? And then I saw that Metallica video. I didn't really care for the first couple bands they had on there. It took me a few years to get into Slayer and stuff. I was like, oh, it's horrible. But but when I saw that video for One by Metallica, it debuted that day too. So I literally watched, the first time I ever caught metal was on the debut of that. And I was just like blown away by it. I was like, this is my music.
Well, what was it about it, Shawn? You know, can you actually put into words what it was in particular that made you go, wow?
I don't know. I don't know if it's just a shock from always hearing Southern gospel to, I mean, let's face it, if you're listening to the Southern gospel, the whole Jesus Loves You movement, and then all of a sudden you hear One by Metallica, you're talking, that's a shock. I don't know if that's what it was. It was just so shocking. Like, I know I didn't like the Slayer at first. It took me a lot of years to say that I'd listen to a Slayer song. And,
I think the thing with One, though, it's got everything. The video is phenomenal. It's a proper dark video. And then the intro, it's such nice, clean guitars. And then next minute, boom. It's most probably one of the perfect songs that I've actually listened to. And I don't know if that was one of the reasons behind it, Shawn.
Yeah, I had no idea that music could make the hair stand up on the back of your neck. And that song made the hair stand up on the back of my neck. And I just knew I liked it. It did something to me. I know it sounds cliche that it did something to me, but it just did. And from that point on, you know, I went out and got Injustice for All. I wore that tape out probably 4 times before they came out with CDs. And then I've been through 3 or 4 CDs. I even bought the And Jason for All CD that had the bass tracks in it. I love that album. That album, people always go, what's 10 albums you'll take with you to a desert island? And they're usually the albums that made the biggest impact on you as far as a listener, right? So we got Injustice for All, Appetite for Destruction. That was the one that my mom hated. Oh, wow. Yeah, having a Christian lady in the house and you're playing Guns N' Roses, I used to have to hide it. She would take it and burn it, and I'd have to go get another one, and she'd find it, burn it, because it was the devil's music, because they said the F word every 3 seconds in it. So I was like, but I like it, so I had to go get another one. Then I got into like Def Leppard. I was a big 80s hair band guy. You know, Def Leppard and Poison. Yeah, I wore the tight pants in the whole 9 yards. It was scary. But, you know, we were all young once, right? We didn't know any better.
We're all entitled to it. Have you still got the pants?
No. I don't know if I could fit in them. I was I was a lot scrawnier as a young man. I had more of a,
Give it another 3 months, Sean. The way you're going, give it another 3 months, mate. You'll be right. So how did you? Out of interest, I mean, because like with ultra Christian families, they tend not to be, they tend to be very strict. So how did you said that she would break the album or etc. But was there any? Did they see a big? Were they really shocked at how did they think you changed hugely and how?
You mean how did my mom end up dealing with it? You mean?
Yeah.
Well, she was a single mom. There was me and my brother, and of course, whatever I did, my brother gonna do. So now she didn't have this one she was tracking down. Now she had dual copies of everything. Trying to back in the day, you put tape over the Christian gospel cassette tapes and record over them. So we grab our Christian gospel tapes, record Metallica stuff over it. Not a happy one. But yeah, I don't know. Just after a while, she realized we were still the two good kids that she raised. You know, we were still good to people. We were still respectful. And it was just the music that we listened to. So after a while, she asked us politely to kind of keep the music to a minimum in her presence that had, foul language in it.
So
I'm not going to tell you what happened with the 2 Live Food tape. We're not going to have that discussion. No, so that's when she blew a cork. I thought the metal was bad. 2 Live Food really put her over the edge. That wasn't a good one.
So
I thought it was hilarious.
So we talk about now. I mean, we've already referenced your YouTube channel. Can you tell us about what inspired you to create that channel in the way that you have?
I wasn't seeing what I wanted to see, and I had to find a cure for boredom because they call me Truck Driver Shawn because I actually drive a truck for a living. That's what I do. I drive all over the United States of America, coast to coast, all over the place, north and south, everywhere but anywhere. And I needed something to do. I was never that guy that wanted to go inside and tell lies with the other guys. I never wanted to chase down hookers in parking lots because that just freaked me out. So I needed something to do. So I was like, well, I like playing guitar. Guitar is just fun. You can do it by yourself. You don't need an audience. And it's super rewarding. It's just a good time. And then with the gear demos and stuff, these people were doing these videos where they process the crap out of everything. You get the gear and it doesn't sound like it did when they did it. You're like, how come I can't make this thing sound good? Well, it's because they're editing the crap out of everything. So I told myself, I'm going to take my cell phone. I'm going to hit record, and what comes out is what everybody sees. I do not edit a damn thing. What I record, you see. Sometimes I'll get bored, and if it's a nice sunny day out and there's no moisture or anything, I'll go outside the truck and play. And I'll take a whole rig with me. I'll take a tube amp and a speaker out on the road, and I have a lot of fun with it. It's just fun. In this day and age, we have all these outlets now. And if you want to find a positive way of doing things, it's pretty easy. You just have to want to be positive. You have to put yourself out there. And then I started doing these videos, and I get people getting a hold of me like, wow, that's the first time I've ever heard that sound like that. It sounds so completely different than what everybody else does. And then they go and get it, and they're like, it sounded exactly like what you did, but nothing like these other guys. So I never changed what I did. I get told all the time, light your cab up, put the stuff through, Reaper or send the audio correctly. No, I'm going to use my cell phone like an asshole from now until the end of time because it's to work for me. It separates me from everybody else. If I did everything like everybody else, it'd be the same shit. It's like, why do I do stuff by small companies, like small amp companies, small independent builders, small guitar companies? It's because everybody else is doing the other shit. And no one's paying attention to these guys that are building stuff out of their basements that are just doing incredible work. And they're not giving them the time of day because they can't afford the $3,000 to have somebody review their stuff. I don't charge anything. I review anything. Just send it to my house. We'll get it handled.
Actually, it's one of the things which caught me attention, especially I think it was it this week you was at Voodoo Pickups?
Yeah, I was at Voodoo Custom Pickups. My boy over there, he's awesome. Rich is a great guy, and his family is so cool. Like literally, it's done right in his house, and it was so fun. He's such a great guy. And he's doing incredible work, and hardly nobody knows who he is. It's scary.
It's things like that where we would gladly get the likes of Rich John. Like, you know, I'll most probably get his details from you, because it's things like that where we want to support every area of the music industry coming up. So after this, Shawn, I'll give you a shout, mate, and I'll get those details from you if that's cool, mate.
Absolutely, yeah. And Rich is a great guy. I'm sure he'd like any exposure. You know, he literally has a real job. Like making the pickups is not his job. It's what he does in his spare time to basically, again, there's to cure boredom, and he makes phenomenal stuff. Phenomenal. Like
going back to your YouTube channel. What is it you actually use? You say that you just use your phone. Do you use any microphones to mic up anything?
That right there. That's my content creator, my cell phone.
Seriously, that's it.
Yeah.
Well,
I wish I had something better to tell you, but I don't.
Well, there you go, guys. You can do this on a YouTube, like on a phone. It's as easy as that. Just ask Shawn.
Though, trust me, people will give you shit. Your audio could be better. There's enough guys out there with good audio. Listen to my shitty audio. Let's have a party. Let's have a good time. Have some giggles. Have some dick jokes and go over what this gear will do.
To be honest, though, Shawn, you must be doing something right, because it's working, mate. Well, like, you know what I mean. You've got a hell of a lot of followers, including myself. It's working. So keep doing what you're doing, buddy. Definitely. So going back to it, what are the challenges that you've faced creating and maintaining your YouTube channel?
Geez, I have to see my biggest challenge is content, because you can be very repetitive. Like, obviously, I do a job that creates a little bit of income that's a little bit more than what a normal person's job is. So I'm able to get pedals here and there, and I like to get stuff off independent builders, so they're not exactly cheap. You get those boutique things, they're a little pricey, but what you do is you start doing it for a while, and then they start knowing who you are, and you reach out and you pay cost, so you get a little bit of a deal. And I try not to take anything straight up for free, because they are small builders, and it takes away from their families for them to put money into these products, where a lot of guys just walk around with their hand out all the time. I like to put money back in their pockets, at least enough to cover their cost of like shipping it to me and for building it. You know, if they don't want to make a profit, I'm okay with that, but at least put the money back that they took away from their family to send that piece of gear, you know? And after a while, you start to run out of people you can resource for that. And people start asking you to do stuff, and Jesus, you get into a lot of stuff where it's not stuff I would care to even do, but there's enough call for it. If you're like, hey, I really see what you do with this, and the companies, you're not big enough for these companies to send you something they can't really afford to, and then there's lies your problem. The company can't afford to send you something just a demo. You can't afford to buy it even at a discounted rate. Like right now, I'm putting in an order for a Mr. Hector by Rabagoa Amplification. They're an awesome company out of Italy, very small. The owner is an amazing guy, but he couldn't afford to just give me one. It's a very small company. Like, he might sell 2 or 3 amps a week, and he has a staff, because they sell all over the world, you know. And he's not making enough to go, oh, we got some guy with following. Let's sending this amp so we can try it out, because to send something from Italy all the way to the United States, 1, the cost is just stupid. 2, it takes away from his bottom line, and he has to be able to pay his employees, got to keep the lights on at his shop, you know. So I have to pay for that out of my own pocket. Now, granted, he has treated me very kind, and I'm getting a pretty good deal on it. But everybody wants me to try this amp. I want to try it. Don't get me wrong. I want to try everything on the planet. If I could have the entire world's gear show up at my house in one day, I'd probably take a vacation. I'd hang out for a couple of days and play the shit out of some gear. But he's going to send that out to me, and it's just a cool thing. But it's taken me a year and a half to get to the point where I could get that. So if I'd say my biggest problem and thing to get over is being able to get the content, get the gear, because how many times do you want to see me review the same guitar? Probably one time, right? Maybe an update if I put a different pickup in it. But really, a guitar is a guitar is a guitar. You know, I've had a shit ton of Paul Reed Smiths, which I can see you have a few of them over there. And yeah, best guitars on the planet. I don't care what guitar I'm playing. I'll never say they're not the best guitar on the planet. I love my Paul Reed Smiths. Love them.
Absolutely.
Too far away from them. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, let's have a look at the color on that one, Sean.
Yeah, it's called Purple Fire Mist. When my wife passed away, they released this color the day that we buried her. And it was her favorite color on the planet. I don't know how well you can see that, but it's just a beautiful sparkly purple that kind of changes colors a little bit.
Nice.
And I'll never part with this guitar. This guitar is a forever guitar. It plays so good. They're S2 line, so it's not their expensive one. It's made in the US, but you can have one of these for about $1,400, and they're worth every penny and then some.
Yeah,
And,
big fan of PRSs.
Yeah, I see you got a couple there. I have
Sorry,
I got quite a
I'm gonna have to keep John asleep here, like I've got the Tremonti purple and blue one.
I have the opposite. Oh, it's out in my case, but I have the color the other way around. I have that same exact guitar, except for my pink is on the outside and purple's on the inside.
I've seen it, yeah. I know which one you mean, yeah. Quality, they are the next level guitars.
It's hard to beat it, right?
Yeah.
They play themselves. They make you sound good. You can be a hack-ass guitar player that makes you sound good.
I have got a funny story. I have got a funny story when I met Paul Reed Smith. So we were in a meet and greet. I was invited down to meet Paul, and I was stood next to him, and he was putting cream in his tea, and I went, "Oh, that's minging," like that. I just said, "That's fucking horrible." That, and he turned around and went, "Fuck off," like that, and I just went. So he's doing this talk in front of about 100 people. It was put on by a really amazing shop called Sound Effects, and I will shout out because I do know Tim really well, and he's an absolute legend. However, he's doing this massive talk. Halfway through this talk in front of people, he goes, "Where is he? Where is he?" He goes, "Where's the guy who I was talking to at the bar?" Like that, and I had to stand up with the shame of like that going on. And he goes, "We were talking about tea and stuff like that, and he told me not to put cream in it. Told him to fuck off," like that. And that was it. We were just bouncing backwards and forwards. He is one of the really most genuine guys when you speak to him. Really top bloke. Absolutely love it. So if you get a chance to meet him, I'd recommend.
I have. I've met him a few times.
Yeah, lovely guy, isn't he?
Yeah, I got to play guitar with him, which is he's a phenomenal guitar player.
Oh, he's awesome.
He makes the best guitars on the planet. He's just a phenomenal guitar player. So tasty.
Definitely agree with you.
Yeah,
Sorry,
he goes all the.
Well, thanks for that review, guys. So if I ever get interested in guitars, I know it's a PRS I'm getting. But while you're talking about that, Shawn, I mean, you said about content. Is there a process that you go through, which when you decide what you're going to cover and when, you know, is there a checklist? What is it you have to consider when you're doing it, and when you decide to do it, how you put it out, etc.
Really, at the end of the day, it's make sure you don't need to pee when you hit record. That's about it. I get the stuff, I put it in my lap, I hit record, I just go. Because I like to, when I review my stuff, as soon as it comes in, the first time I ever play it, when I open it up, you're getting it. Because that's the only time you can give an honest review. If I sit with it for a week and a half, 2 weeks, you can sit with something for 2 weeks, it's an epic piece of shit, and make it sound good. But you can't yank that bitch out of the friggin' box, plug it in, and fake it. You can't. Everybody sees what you're doing. You know, like I said, I don't edit nothing. So my whole process is just like, if I have an hour to kill, open the box, slap it on, let's go. you know, and just sometimes it comes out good, sometimes it don't. Sometimes I got to make another video a month later going, hey, you know, I spent a month with this thing and it actually is not that bad. I was just an idiot when I first got it. I had to turn knobs or something, you know. You got to be okay eating a little bit of crow, you know, if you screw something up. Like I'm famous for fucking up noise gates. I love noise gates, but I don't know how to use them right. Every single time I plug them in wrong or run them wrong or just I'm just dumb.
Have you ever had
screw them up?
Have you ever had that where a company has been so nice to deal with, fantastic people, so welcoming, so desperate to get you to do a review on your channel, and then you get it and it's a piece of crap? Have you ever had that?
Yep, 3 times.
We're not going to ask. We won't ask any names or anything like that, but we just want to make sure it does happen to us all.
I have no problem because the guy told me to put the video up. Because what I do,
right.
If somebody sends me something and I just don't jive with it and the video is horrible, it makes it look really bad, I send it to them. Like, here, check this out. It really wasn't for me. I'm not going to say it's a piece of shit. It just isn't for me. So watch the video. If you don't think it shows you in the light you want to be shown, I'll throw it away. I'll send you back the gear. Fair is fair. I got to try it. I thank you so much for sending me the gear. Life is good. One time, it was Eris Effects. It's like, I don't care if you put it up. No one gives a shit. I put it up. Everybody gave a shit. It's the funniest thing ever. Kind of backfired on me. But yeah, he told me to go ahead and put it up. And I did. And
to be honest, Shawn, I think you've just nailed it there. Like, because one of the things, obviously, anyone who's starting guitar, you could pick up a PRS and go, it's just not for me. It doesn't mean it's right. Nothing is right for everyone. And this is what makes music so cool. Like, you know what I mean? It's like, you know, it's going to fit someone's playing style no matter what. Doesn't mean it's right for you. Doesn't mean it's right for me. But it might be right for someone else.
Yeah, I actually had a series going for a while where I had blues guys sending me gear. I'm a metal guy. I have no right to say I know a blues lick. Me saying, if I tell you I know a good blues lick, I just lied out my ass. I don't know it. I know some good metal riff, but I'm not a blues guy. So I had blues guys sending me their gear so I could try to do metal through blues gear just to see. My curious mind wanted to know. So come to find out, a blues driver, the old-fashioned Boss blues driver, that crappy 2-knob piece of shit, is amazing for metal. I couldn't believe it. I'm like, wow, this thing is phenomenal. And I would have never in a million years tried that pedal. I would have just discarded the fact it even existed. But it's fantastic for metal. To me, it's better for metal than it is blues because it really takes and tightens things up and makes it really punchy, which is what you try to do with a metal amp. Is you want it to be really aggressive. You want it to, you know, not just hurt people's ears when they hear it, but you want it to cave in their chest at the same time. That thing does it perfectly.
So, as we're talking about obviously playing, you have got such a chilled out style where you're just sitting in your truck, ripping it out, playing some. How often do you actually practice your guitar? And what advice would you give any new players who are looking to start?
This is where every guitar teacher on the planet that could possibly be watching this is going to be getting out their guns and shooting their screens right now. I don't practice ever. And my advice to people wanting to learn how to play, don't ever practice. Play. You will play with other people. Play. Playing is the only way to grow. You've got to play. You sit there and practice. Personally, if I had to practice, I would hate playing guitar. I don't want to practice a scale. I want to play a Metallica riff. I want to play an Anthrax riff. I want to learn that new song that Overkill just put out 2 weeks ago. I'm going to sit down. I'm going to figure that out. I'm not going to practice. I'm going to play. You know, I know they say you have to practice. You have to learn to play. No, you don't. Learn a few chords and just friggin' play. It'll fall into place. And always play with people better than you if you can.
Yeah.
But once you get to a certain level, play with people worse than you because they remind you of the fundamentals that you're supposed to be having as you're playing. Because as you play for a while, you forget the fundamentals and how I call it the Black Sabbath theory. You play stuff at 100 miles an hour for so long, you forget how heavy Black Sabbath is. And Black Sabbath is not fast. It's slow, doomy, groovy. You forget how heavy that is. You know, it's like I tell people, Sabbath, True, and The Thing That Should Not Be are the two heaviest songs Metallica has. Are they the fastest? No, but they are the heaviest songs they have in their whole entire catalog. And it's, you forget those things, but the guy that can only play those simple riffs, he knows it. He's living it. And he wants to play fast like you, but doesn't realize what a gift he's sitting on by playing those articulate, groovy little riffs that he's going to forget all about in about 2 years because he's going to be going, he's got Tourette's or something, you know? That's the biggest thing, just play. And always play with people. That's one thing about musicians. If a musician's better than you, a good musician, a musician that's not a friggin' cockwomble, he'll sit there and he'll play with you. Why? Because there's nothing better than watching somebody see something through, like seeing that joy, because you don't get it anymore. When you get to a certain playing level, you really start doing some really nut stuff to get that playing. But you get someone who's learning how to play guitar and they have like that, oh, I just did it. And you get to see them do that. And you're like, oh, it felt so good to help him with that. Because you don't get that feeling anymore yourself. You don't get that self-gratification from your own playing.
Yeah, you're
take the time. People have to come from somewhere. Everybody's a beginner. You always start a beginner. And if you want to get to where you're advanced, that's awesome. We all want to get there. I'd like to be Steve Vai. Is it going to happen in this lifetime? Am I okay with that? Yep. I chugged, therefore I am. But you get around with somebody who is just starting out, and they're like, oh, your right hand is ridiculous. Like, well, learn how to play some Metallica songs. Play along with them. You know, best thing you can do, especially on computers now, you can slow things down. You can put in Master of Puppets, which is a really fast song. A battery that's a really fast song. You can put it at half speed. Learn it at half speed and turn it up to 3/4 speed and play along with it. So you know you're playing it at speed with ease. Didn't have that when I was a kid.
No, I certainly didn't.
Yeah.
I noticed that you're endorsed by Solar Guitars.
Yep.
Can you tell us about how that came about and why you were endorsed by them and what you like about them? Because I know you mentioned PRS, so I think it's only right we start to talk about Solar now.
Solar Guitars, every year on my YouTube channel, I explore a new brand. Like this year, I'm going to do Gorilla Guitars. They're a hand-built company out of Quebec, Canada. Last year was Solar. So I got quite a little following, and when you start to pop up, like my YouTube video, oddly enough, doesn't do very well. It's my Facebook that does really, really well. I had a video that just went crazy. I got like 600 and something thousand views of me playing at a place where you're not supposed to play guitar outside my truck, you know? So it just spread around the internet. For a minute there, I was cool for about, I don't know, 6 hours of my life. I was cool. And then, you know, everybody figured out, like, wait a minute, that's just a fat truck driver friggin' playing chuggy chug riffs. The hell's so special about that? Like, exactly. But turned around and got that all handled. And they reached out. I had asked about their artist program months ahead, heard nothing. But then everybody else is like, you know, you got this guy running around with Solar Guitars all over the country. And another unique thing I do is if I'm traveling and I have gear that you want to check out, I have to take a 2-hour break every day, regardless, you know? So you want to check it out? Let's figure out a place where I can stop my truck safely. Y'all can show up, play the gear. I let people play my gear. I don't care. Because my whole thing is, if you have good gear, no one's going to hurt it. You have precious little gear no one can touch, which first off, any real musician will let someone else play their instrument. Because all a musician wants is more musicians. That's it. And we like to brag a little bit. We think our gear is fucking awesome, right? That's why he has pictures of Paul Reed Smith guitars over his shoulder while he's doing the video. He wants people to know he's got some Paul Reed Smiths behind.
Do you know what? It's not even the pride of my collection, man. seriously, it's not.
You're gonna have to show me your proudest one, mate. Go on. You have to show me your best one.
Me pride and joy.
Yeah. What you got? What you hiding? Whoa. Now, see, I'm a sucker for purple, in case you didn't know. Purple's my thing.
Stage played.
So I got to ask
Zach,
you, how big are your hands? Because that friggin' neck on that guitar is like choking out an ex-wife. It's huge. The neck is just huge.
I swear by them, mate. I absolutely love Wild Audio. Like, big fan of them. Like,
I just played. Is it called the Raven? Is that what it's called? Their Explorer-looking one. I just played one of those, and I didn't like it, so I sent it to Wild Audio, and they asked me not to put the video up. They're one of them. I probably shouldn't have said that. That was one of the people that told me not to put it up. I just didn't like the neck was too big. The guitar sounded great, but the neck is just huge.
I've got big hands, you see, so like, you know what I mean. But yeah, that's when he played Zach Sabbath for the 50th anniversary in Birmingham. That's a stage played one. That's me pride and joy.
Yeah, you're never getting rid of that.
No, definitely not. It's all.
Oh, look at that! That is awesome.
Yeah,
that is a great piece.
He actually managed to talk Zach Wilde into doing a video talking about Ian's own band, King Voodoo, and his wife was in this as well. It was amazing. It's on YouTube on King Voodoo. You need to check it out, Shawn. It's really funny.
Absolutely. You know what I have kicking around, and if I can find it in my stuff, I'll get your address off you, because I don't have a way to properly display it, and it's just literally living, rotting away by itself in the bottom of a box somewhere. In 2008, I met Zach Wilde and got to go backstage and play his rig. And he signed the, I can't remember the name of the album, but it's the one that has the nuns on.
Oh, I know which one.
Yeah, it was during that album cycle. He signed it and wrote this big whole thing on about playing guitar. I'll send that out to you. I'll get your address. I'll send that to you. You can put it up with your stuff. It's just rotting away in a box here. So
if you find it, mate, I'll gladly, mate, and I'll put it on display. That'd be awesome, mate.
Yeah. I'll get it sent out. I think it's taking a long time in the mail to go anywhere from the United States right now. But when I find it, I'll get a hold of you and let you know. It might take me a bit because I just moved cross country and I got boxes. But when I come across it, I'll get a hold of you and I'll get that out to you for sure.
You are a legend, my friend. Thank you very much.
I just rather have it with somebody who will properly, have it be seen. I mean, it's not every day you run into stuff like that. You're obviously a Zach fan, so you're the perfect person to give that to.
I am a major fan, yeah. So yeah. You've got a serious collection of amp heads, I believe. You've got a little addiction to it. You have
all tools of the trade, really.
Have you got a favorite?
My favorite amp?
Yeah.
It's got to be my Republic amps. My Republic X amp it's my go-to. It does everything. It does everything really well.
How do you get your tone then, Shawn? If anyone's watching your YouTube channel and they go, I want my guitar to sound like that, what is how do you do it?
I use these. Everybody thinks it's the gear. I'm here to tell you. This is 75% of the tone that comes out of your instrument. These ugly ass mitts right here. That's the tone. Amps are just a tool, sort of like you need a screwdriver to take apart something. The tone comes from you. It's you. You want to sound different, you got to sit down and work that craft. And really, at the end of the day, I wanted to be James Hetfield. So my down picking and my galloping is stupid, sort of like James, because I sat down and played Metallica songs all freaking day long. So, as an adult, I'm still doing that one trick pony shit that I learned. Nothing really changed. But yeah, I don't know. I use a lot of gain. I like a dry gain, sort of like that like the Fortin sound. Mike Fortin he's got really good stuff, and you can plug his pedals into like crap amps and you'll get that sound. The same with Eris effects and Protone pedals. A new guy that's coming up, Daniel Selheimer, he has a company called Deadwheeled Audio, which they make the best overdrive pedal known to mankind. It's called a Duality DX. In my opinion, there's nothing on the market that will touch it. And it's affordable. That's even more scary part. You got Lichlerm Audios doing amazing stuff. You put that in, and if you like metal, your stuff just sounds like metal. But the tone itself, I'm a firm believer. If machines could copy tone, we'd all be able to have that fluid, crazy sound that Steve Vai has. But we don't. Steve does. There was one Eddie Van Halen. I don't care how many people cover Eddie Van Halen. You can play the notes, but it doesn't sound like it's supposed to. Your guitar could be a perfect pitch. You could be using his guitar, his amp, and Running with the Devil is not going to sound like Running with the Devil. It's going to sound like some asshole playing Running with the Devil. It just isn't. It's in Eddie's hands. Just like with my tone, it's in my hands. Your tone is in your hands. We have amps and we have guitars that are tools, but the tone, that's the human element as far as I'm concerned. Because I can plug into your rig, I'll kind of sound like me playing through your rig.
We had a similar conversation with Billy Gray. We asked the same question, and he actually said the same. Billy Gray from Fozzy. He was another one who actually said it's in your hand.
Yeah, he did.
It's in your hand. It's practice, playing, everything. It all comes through your fingers. So
funny story about it. Before my wife passed away, the last show we went to together was the Fozzy show in Joplin, Missouri. He sat with us all night. My wife didn't even know who he was.
Sure.
Like, I just hanging out. It was like he can hang out as long as he wants, and we sat there, shot the shit with him for quite a while. I was trying to talk him into making it so I could meet Rich Ward. Rich Ward is one of the guys who inspired me to play guitar. And Rich's family was there visiting, so he couldn't get him out of the bus. But Billy is an awesome, awesome guy. He's like one of the happiest dudes you ever meet in your life. He's like just a happy guy. And he's super kind. Way, way kind. So it's awesome you guys got to interview him because he is straight up just a good dude.
Yes, he was great. He really was. So, if you already said, obviously, Shawn, about you're a metalhead, and obviously there's some rock that you like, hard rock as well. If there's any young person or somebody that would decide they want to be a guitarist and they want to follow the metal or the rock genre and they want to be a guitarist, can you name sort of half a dozen people that you think that they should listen to if they want to learn the licks and they want to learn from the best? Who would they be?
You mean like online teachers or something, or just?
No. I'm talking about people, like that have been in bands. So.
Oh, Jesus! In modern bands?
Any band you like?
Probably, I'd say Adam Duchowitz from Killswitch Engage. Adam D is lighthearted and fun, and his riffs are bouncy and very, very technical. But if you slow them down, they're not very hard to play. Definitely him. I'd say the Avenged Sevenfold guys. I'd pay attention to them because they kind of blend what was cool yesterday with what is cool today, and they're very proficient. And again, their stuff's difficult, but if you slow it down, you'll get it. You're talking new bands. Some of them are so tough because a lot of these bands now cover up actually playing guitar with a bunch of monkey shit in their freaking songs.
Well, some of the classics, even the old guys, Shawn. Any of the old bands as well. I mean,
if you really want to go to school and like figure out how to be really groovy and really chug worthy, James Hetfield, Dimebag Darrell, you gotta have them. You want to learn how to have the fun riffs, the super bouncy type stuff. The boy over there, Zach Wilde. You listen to me squeal guitar, you know where I got that from. There's no denying that. I rip that man off every time I pinch off a harmonic. I'm not even gonna try to hide that shit. You know, it took me a long time to figure out how to copycat that guy, and I will forever say that's where I got it from. You know, Jerry Cantrell's another one. He might not be the heaviest music, but that dude's riffs are just legendary. You play them, people know what you're playing. And you know, the Godfather, Tommy Iommi. You have to give a shout out to that guy. I mean, because without him, there is no metal. Really, at the end of the day, as far as like the word heavy being used in metal, that's Tom. That's Tony. You know, Tony Iommi. You don't. No, you can't have it without him. You could have fast music without him, but not heavy music without him. He brought the heavy. You know, there's just so many people. If you want to go back into Jesus, so many. It's ridiculous. Nuno Betancourt. I mean, let's face it. No one plays guitar. Nuno Betancourt. You got Steve
level.
Joe Satriani. You know, Eddie Van Halen. You know, to not say Eddie Van Halen is just, you know, it's like saying Oreo cookies. It's fucking disgusting. It's just, you're never gonna ever get someone to believe that shit. You know, Eddie changed the game, not just from his playing. That's what makes Eddie Van Halen so interesting. It was his tone and how he approached getting it. He was never happy. That guy went to his deathbed building a new amp. Like, he wasn't happy with the amp that he had. And it's one of the best sounding amps on the planet. And he wasn't happy with it. It wasn't taking him where he wanted to go. So he was developing another amp. I mean, who does that? Eddie Van Halen. You know? He was changing things all the time. He was never good with things being the same all the time. You know, so you got to look at the old guys. The new kids, this whole gent thing, I mean, come on. Let's face it. Typewriter music, I call it. You know, you're pissed off at your keyboard and you hit it, there's gent. But still, there is some talented guys in gent. Don't get me wrong. You know, Misha Mansour and the guys in Periphery, they're just brilliant. You know, you get the guys from the Architects, they're brilliant. You know, they're playing guitar on a level that didn't even exist when I was young. You know, the stuff they're doing is, you know, hurt your brain trying to friggin' figure out what's going on. There's nothing memorable, we'll put it that way. Like when you hear the intro to Cowboys from Hell, and Dimebag's going tick 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 tick, you know what song's coming. You know it's happening. Yeah, because those riffs, they meant something. You know, it's like hearing you know what's coming. Just that stupid bend, you know, Iron Man is coming. You know, things like that, they don't exist in today's music. Today's music's all like.
I must admit, the first time I heard Audio Slave, and it was the song Cochise, and all I heard, it was the video, so all I heard was the helicopter and the big fan, and I'm like, what the fuck is coming here? And then the riff come in, and I don't care where you are. The minute I hear that, I'm punching the fucking air. Supposing it was at a funeral, you know, I don't care. It's you just cannot resist it. You know, you can't resist that feeling you get when you hear a riff like you're talking about.
Yeah, and that's awesome about Tom Morello. Tom Morello he doesn't write songs, he writes riffs. Like if you listen to his music, doesn't matter whether it's Rage or if it's his own solo stuff or stuff he did with, you know, what was that other band he messed with for a little while with the rap guys. I can't even remember what it's called now.
Right.
But his riffs set the tone. You almost don't have to have lyrics with his riffs. He's just so musical with how his riffs are, and they really do like stand out. Like you know what's coming when you hear it. Like Bulls on Parade by Rage Against the Machine. You hear those riffs, and you know exactly what it is before lyrics come. You know the song because the music itself is musical. Today, everything sounds the same.
I think, to be honest, it's a tough one, this one, Shawn, because there are a lot of good bands out there who are unsigned, metal, hard rock, and they're just not getting the footage, the airplay, and they're not getting noticed or discovered enough. But there are a lot of good bands out there who have got those kind of riffs, who are following in those footsteps. It's just trying to get that music out there, and I think that's one of the biggest challenges. Hence the reason why we are doing these shows, to try and get people to buy into these things, and get the knowledge, like, of the success of your YouTube channel, how you've done it, where you've started it from, etc., and the history behind it. So going back onto another subject, can you tell us about your band, Bound by Integrity?
It's always funny when people call that a band. It's a project. So a bunch of buddies of mine from other bands decided we just wanted to do something different that was groove orientated because of this discussion we just had a second ago.
Yeah.
No, you can have heavy music and still have grooves. It doesn't have to go 100 miles an hour. Have it be just groovy, so you're not in your head to it. You can remember what's coming, and call it predictable, call it what you will. But we were missing it because we're all older cats, we're not young anymore. We're not wearing skinny jeans and all the funky shit these kids are wearing today. Why you call them sisters' clothes. But that's all it was. It was just a way for us old cats to go and just do something that no one's been hearing for a long time. And that's just heavy groove stuff. Granted, we know it's out there, especially if you've ever been to Texas. You got bands like Upon a Burning Body and stuff. They do it all the time. But in the Northeast, where I was living at the time, nothing at all. Everything was either super fast or super slow or like something else that you literally heard on the radio 10 minutes ago.
Yeah.
So it was just basically just that. And what's awesome is I'll write here in Missouri and send tracks to Maine and switch stuff back and forth that way. So we'll still be writing together and putting stuff together. Someday we'll have something recorded that we can hand out and go, hey, look what we did. We're a slow moving train because we're never happy. Like we'll hear something, we're like, oh, that's pretty cool. And our thing is, let's sit on it for 2 weeks and listen to it again and see if we're happy. And we never are. We'll go back and rewrite something, or we don't get together for 4 months.
It must be difficult though with you being a truck driver. It must have its disadvantages when you're trying to do something like that.
I'm also a dad. I have 4 kids, so I stay pretty busy. Granted, 2 of them are grown, but my time gets all over the damn place. And I started taking on students, teaching kids how to play. Donating my time. I'm not charging anything for it. Just some underprivileged kids that their parents can't afford to put them into lessons. I'm trying to kind of give back to something that's given me immense amount of joy. That's really all it is. I'm not looking for a pat on the back or anything. I just want to give back,
Yeah, that's cool, mate. That really is cool because, that's what attracted us to you when Ian spoke to me about you. We were looking at who we wanted to talk to, and Ian suggested you. Do you know what? Everybody we've interviewed, whether it be a singer, a guitarist, a recording guy, a producer, a guy that makes videos, they all have one thing. Well, they have 2 things: a love for what they do, and passion about music. And that's what attracts us to anybody. And the fact that you've just said what you've said there proves that the passion isn't just something you talk about; it's something you do. And I applaud you for doing that, because I think that's ace. I think that's brilliant.
Yeah, it's easy to do good things if you want to do good things. You don't really put much thought into it, And I grew up in an underprivileged home, a single mom. She did everything. I didn't know we was poor until I became an adult and saw what it took to live. I had no idea we were poor. That's how good of a job this woman did. My mom's a saint. I wouldn't have told you that when I was 16 or 17 or 18 years old, though.
No,
I would have used a word to explain to my mom, but as an adult, my mom was, oh my God, I could not have done what she did. I don't think I have what it takes. I did, like I said, I had no idea we were poor. I had no idea. She did an awesome job, but I would have never been able to have a guitar or be able to have guitar lessons in her home. So I had to wait till I was an adult to play guitar. And if I can make it possible to be part of the sauce that makes it so a child can play guitar because they really want to do it, then who am I to say no? You know, it takes an asshole to look a kid in the face and go, nah. It just does. You know, for everything.
That's cool, mate. That's cool. So let's look at all the different things that you do that we can see. You know, the band, the YouTube, the Facebook stuff. So what have you got planned? What do you think Shawn's going to be doing that way in the short, medium, and longer term? You know, do you think that far ahead?
Nope. I don't know. That's true too. Actually, I know what I'm doing tomorrow. I'm unpacking more shit. That's what I'm doing. I just moved cross country.
Hey, shit has to be unpacked. That's what it takes. That's what it takes, bro.
I got this stuff all fired up so I could talk to you guys today. I didn't, and of course, you know, my time zone changed. So when you guys told me it'd be like 2 o'clock my time, well, now it's 1 o'clock my or 1 o'clock.
You moved through the side, didn't you?
It's an hour backwards. I was like, damn. So I got a hold of you. I got a hold of you an hour early. I was like, I haven't heard from these guys yet. I go, I might want to check in.
Oh yeah, I saw that. I got an email saying somebody checked in, and I thought you were just checking to make sure the link was there. But it was exactly an hour early, and I thought, I wonder if I got the wrong time. So I looked and I thought, no, I've got the right time.
Yeah, I logged in, then I sent the message to Ian. I was like, we still doing this today? Because I've been in the middle of a move, and I noticed I'm horrible at getting back with messages. The last week, I have no excuse for my behavior. I'm an asshole. I know you guys sent me an email. I just said no reply whatsoever. That I read the questions, and you know, when I read the questions, the first thing I thought was, none of these are bad. Carry on. You know? But I would have answered anything anyway. You know, I am who I am. There's no real secret to what I do. I mean, really, at the end of the day, I get a piece of gear, I review it. I just love playing guitar, and sometimes I hit record, sometimes I don't. You know, it's pretty much the long and skinny of it. Just try to get a little bit of positivity on the internet. There's other people
much needed at the moment, though, Shawn.
What's that?
I think it's much needed at the moment. There's too much negativity around, and music's the only way forward in my eyes.
I agree. This whole Rona thing is really. This didn't just jar a country. This is a global piece of shit. You know, and it just screwed everybody. You didn't care if you were black, you're white, you're fat, you're thin, you're young, you're old. That thing was cock strong and went after everything.
Yeah,
they didn't care. You know, and no one's handling it right, in my opinion. No country's handling it right. No politicians doing what the fuck they should be doing. And all we can do is just worry about one another. Let the bean counters and stuff do their thing. Just treat people good. Pay attention to what the scientists are saying. Pay attention to what the doctors are saying. Let's find a reason to smile and make other people smile.
Amen, brother. Amen.
Way too easy to do the latter of things, and that's just to go and just be a hateful asshole. There's enough people having a bad day. You don't need to add to it or create it. There's enough of it. Let's have some fun. Everybody likes a good dick joke, right? Let's have a good day. Let's have a good time. You know? I mean, you got people that are getting divorced in the middle of a pandemic. And like, if anything, you should find a way to like rekindle your relationship. Like, you got time together, you know, and maybe do some stuff you ain't done in a while. You'll maybe pretend you're 16 again. Have a good time. If you're staying together and you're finding out you don't like the person you're with, that doesn't really say much what you've been doing for the last however many years of your life. You know, you end up with somebody because you give a shit about them, right? I mean, I have an ex-wife, and I can tell you right now, once upon a time, I loved my life with her. I really did. Then just, you know, the road goes this way, the road goes this way, one goes this way, one goes that way, and shit doesn't work out. But But this whole thing with the pandemic, people find out they hate the people that live it with. It's like, wow, that says something.
I think you've just nailed it there. Definitely, Shawn, where we should be just looking after each other, no matter what. Let the rich, the politicians, the idiots above us all make their decisions. Let's just make sure everyone else is safe, sound, and listening to some good music. And that is the way we should end it. So, yeah. Shawn, I've got another question for you before we finish tonight. What are your links to your social media? Where can we find Shawn the Truck Driver?
It's pretty easy. I am the one and only. So no matter what platform you go to, put in Truck Driver Shawn, SHAWN. My fat ass will show up every time.
What I'll do, Shawn, I'll put all the links down there somewhere. Everyone will be able to click on them for you. So guys, ladies and gentlemen, if you want to check out Shawn's amazing YouTube channel, click the link below and make sure you subscribe. He is a really top bloke. Shawn, thank you very much for being on our show. We couldn't thank you enough. We'd love to have you back on if you'd have us.
Anytime. Anytime. I appreciate you guys having me on. It's always good when someone wants to do an interview or just chat. And I think what I think is awesome is this is another thing that we couldn't have done back in 1992. You are a long ways from where I am sitting right now.
Just a little bit.
Kind of miles are between us. And we're literally having a conversation like we're sitting right in front of one another. It's an amazing time to be a human being.
100%.
Even amongst all the other crap that's going on, it's an amazing time to be a human being.
Yeah.
John, over to you, buddy.
Well, thanks, Shawn. That's been amazing. I really enjoyed that chat, mate. And you know what to do, guys and gals. Until next time, hit that cowbell, subscribe.